All right, good morning, everyone. I want to first apologize for the fact that you are most definitely going to hear my daughter in the background of this. There she is. But my wife has to work today, so I don't have any other options as far as making you guys videos, right? So today, we're going to talk very quickly about solving radical equations. Right, so far we've gone through graphing. So obviously, just like rationals, right? We graphed rationals first, and then we solved equations with rationals, right? Then we did the simplifying stuff. But today, we're just going to talk about briefly solving some radical equations, specifically where the radical is a square root. We'll talk about cube roots another time. Right, so there's a couple of easy steps here. You can see the example that we have. The first thing you always want to do, right? So I'll put our steps over here. Step one, always, you want to isolate the radical. Get the radical by itself. All right, so in this particular case, all that means is if I change my color here, I'm going to add x to both sides. See you later, right? So now after step one is complete, the square root of x plus 2 equals x minus 4. Easy, right? There she is again. Now my next step here, square both sides, right? So now to get rid of the radical, I'm going to square both sides. If this was a cube root, I'm going to cube both sides, right? So here I'm just going to say square both sides. For our particular example here, all right, so now at this step, let's pick a different color. We'll do this in light blue. I'm going to square, and so when step 2 is done, I've got x plus 2 on this side, because that'll eliminate the radical. Now on the other side, I'm going to recommend, and by recommend I mean we're going to have to. Yes, we found Dory. Right? We're actually going to have to FOIL that thing out. Right? So I've got x squared minus 8x plus 16 after step 2 is done. Now, you notice, I just have a quadratic. That's it. So now, solve whatever is left over. Right? So in this case, all right, because it's a quadratic, I'm going to get it equal to 0. So I'm going to move over the x plus 2 to the other side. I've got x squared now. I got to subtract x, so minus 9x. Got to subtract 2 to get plus 14 equal to 0. Right? And that's actually nicely factorable. So x minus 2 times x minus 7 equals 0. So I've got two answers here, or two, I'm going to say candidates for answers here. X equals 2 or x equals 7. Now, just like with rationals, though, I have to check. Well, I can't spell. I have to check for extraneous solutions. Meaning, I need to plug these things back in to make sure they actually work. And where do I plug them in? I always want to use the original. You always want to use the original equation, right? So I'm going to plug both of those in to make sure they work in my original equation. So if I look, right, so if I go back to this next page here, our original was square root of x plus 2 minus x equals negative 4. So if I plug in, remember my two answers were x equals 2 and 7. Right, so if I plug in 2, I get square root of 4 minus 2 equals negative 4. Uh-oh. Right, I get 0, square root of 4 is 2, equals negative 4. Nope. 2 is not an answer. 2 is an extraneous solution. Excuse me. Remember, just because one didn't work out doesn't mean the other one is automatically going to work out either. So I always have to check both. So now if I plug in 7, I get square root of 7 plus 2 minus 7. Does that equal negative 4? Square root of 9 minus 7. Does that equal negative 4? And in fact, we get 1 here. That works. So my only actual answer to this one is x equals 7. All right, so I hope that was helpful. I do apologize for my daughter in the background. I am doing my best here, right? I hope it wasn't too distracting. If you still have questions, please let me know. I'm only going to give you a couple of examples today. And then next week, we're going to start our final project for the year. All right, guys, have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.